thing where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make.
Hello there. Thank you very much. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you're watching from. And this is Mayegun live.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube. Mayegun diary. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú.
Thank you very much. You can share this broadcast, okay? Share it, invite others. Tell them that Mayegun today. I don't know if this news I'm about to share with you is a good news or not, but you will decide that. But share the broadcast.
Mayegun diary, diary political. Mayegun diary, Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹ́gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun diary. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun diary.
So to start with, right, there is a plot to get Emefiele arrested. Not that probably it's going to happen or not, but you need to know the whole story behind this. Share the broadcast.
Lórí Facebook.
Don't forget your offerings. Like the broadcast. Share it. Subscribe if you haven't. Also, on this in this segment tonight, I'm going to have the People's Parliament. Okay. So the People's Parliament is where you, as a viewer, and also possibly as a regular member of the Temple of Truth, where you can actually have a chance of saying your own truth, including many of you who have one or two things to correct about what Mayegun have said or probably didn't say well. You can have your chance now. It is always by anonymity. You have the link. It is there in the description of this broadcast. Use it. Join us. But to get everyone into the mood, like get us into the mood of being participants here, I would take the story of Emefiele. Tell you a few things about that. Get you into that. Oh my God. Yeah. And also, I can possibly just take you through one or two political gathering out there that you know what I mean. Number 3, I am also happy to tell you that when we discussed what should be the structure for the Yoruba Union organization where everybody can play a role, I'm not just talking about just appearing or just filling in the gap. I'm talking about committed people who have a different expertise, different experiences that they can share with us, even in their own tight schedule. I'm happy to tell you today that in the last 24 hours, we have seen over 140 people. Now, this selection process will start when people begin to understand what is at stake and where and what can they do, where can they be very, very, active and helpful. Everybody is welcome. If we want to do this as a people, then we have to do it collectively. Collectively in the sense that we must know what is driving us, what's our aim, what's our objectives, and what is going to be the vision, what's going to be the goal. Everything combined how can we then manage the diverse ambition that we have with the help of the people of like minds? So, yeah, I would share that with you sometimes, okay? Possibly tonight or maybe some other time. I can just brief as well, maybe tonight. So the People's Parliament will be open for you to also add your own. So therefore, so we are going to get started in a moment, okay? I'm going to take you to Calabar, and then I'm going to take you to briefly to Uyo, where the obedient gathered today, and as well as Calabar, where Kolu, as usual, had this. I mean, it actually became the unifier, unifier, something that they said that Bokwari couldn't do for 7 years. Right, we'll get to that, okay? You have heard the story, or you haven't, the story of a DSS approaching courts. That court should give them the order, the right to arrest Emefiele. Why do they want to arrest Emefiele? What changed? What is going on? What is the plot? Is it just a rumor? What are the things behind this? What is the end goal? Will they succeed or not? These are the few things that I'm going to share with you before we then go on to have our People's Parliament. Okay? To be part of the People's Parliament, just check the link in the description of this video, whether on Facebook or YouTube, and you can just open that. But the simple instruction is that once you want to join us in the studio as a parliamentarian, you must make sure that the device you are going to use is not the same device that you are watching this broadcast on. They are going to become like, they're going to clash. When they clash together, we are not going to ever hear what you are saying. So just have that in mind. I'll repeat this again once, we get to that part. Have you liked this broadcast? Have you dropped your offering? Have you shared it as well? No. Come on, let's do that in the next 10, 15 seconds. Thank you very much, by the way, for joining me as well. If you are just joining us, the right thing to do first is to drop your offering by liking the broadcast. Subscribe if you haven't. Then the next thing you should do is to read the caption of the broadcast and the description, which is the body of the broadcast. These two will help you, right, to understand what is this conversation all about. And by so doing, you'll probably be able to participate as well by commenting or even by calling in or participating in the People's Parliament yourself, sharing your own views that a lot of us are interested in hearing, by the way. Emefiele is the central bank governor of Nigeria. From the time of Goodluck Jonathan. In fact, it might sound like it's such a long time. It's not. Emefiele happened to be the person that succeeded the Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. Now, since Emefiele came on board, and then the destroying people's government of PDP, of Jonathan, was accused of massive, monumental corruption. Now, for those who participated in that corruption of that past regime, majority of them got paid by the central bank, by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The proceeds and everything went through them. However, when they started picking people up who participated in the largesse, Emefiele was retained to further wreck Nigeria. How? It was Emefiele who orchestrated, perfected, and made the People who are doing the central bank stroke banks and stroke other people, the round tripping that first crashed your naira to start with. It was Emefiele that has been cooking the book, and at the same time printing money in excess with no disclosure, without telling anybody, for years for this Boko Haram's government, which has further dipped Nigeria into never seen before inflation. Now, all of this, the end result is that in 7 years, more Nigerians have become jobless, more businesses have shut down, and more Nigerians have become poorer. To an average Nigerian, the politicians are the one who stole our money. They stole our money. And it's because, no. They stole your money because all this were made possible by the fake monetary manager or money manager of Nigeria, the people who actually opened the vault and the door of your central bank that for what? For kleptomaniacs. Somebody who became a kleptomaniac himself. Now, Nigeria economy is going south. Emefiele is patching the book. So Nigerians are poorer today. Your criminal politicians and their own different agents from different political parties are smiling to the bank, including the terrorists. Just about 2 years ago, the government of United Arab Emirates, they opened an investigation into some individuals, some Nigerians living and working in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. These were guys who, some of them claiming to be schooling there, others claiming to be lecturers there. Guess what? They were staying in Dubai and they were mobilizing fund that they are emitting back through Nigerian system. And this money are being picked up by different groups that have links to terrorism. Now, Dubai, from United Arab Emirates, they could identify where that money was going to. And the moment they found all their evidence, they arrested the 6 of them. Now, throughout all of this, Central Bank of Nigeria with Isa Abina Musa Abi Isa pandemic, sure you know Isa pandemic, Isa Patantami, the terrorist sympathizer that is now in charge of Nigeria's communication, your text message, your phone calls, your emails, your whatever, everything is now the one in charge of monitoring them. Isa pandemic, Emefiele. These are the 2 organs in Nigeria that could have helped, honestly speaking, to halt the terrorists and their sponsor, their source of funding and everything in Nigeria today. But guess what? Because they are compromised, Dubai did the job. They arrested them. They put them on trial. They presented all the evidence. Well, guess what? When UAE was doing all of that, their agent, their own investigator visited Nigeria in order to put all of the evidence together to convict these criminals. All this evidence, all this contact they make in Nigeria, all of these were presented in Dubai court, and they sentenced these guys to 20 years, 15 years in prison in UAE. Nigeria had no clue. All of that money that they raised and sent to terrorists in Nigeria for over 5 years. Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria Communication System, and the minister and the rest of them, they had no clue. It was like a free for all. But it is a compromise on its own. I told you, see, if to say Nigeria is a real place, where people have not been somehow, right, weaponized with ignorance, where ignorance, poverty have been weaponized. If it's not that bad, majority of those parading themselves as your leaders, rulers, security chiefs, and the rest of them, these are people that should be standing trial for treason, for their own conspiracy against Nigeria, all because there's something that sells. Once you are no longer scared or afraid, you will be able to challenge them and change your lives. So to keep the fear, the circle of fear in place, your entire system is compromised, including your central bank, that is overlooking the illicit funds that are being ferried through your system into the hands of terrorists. All of these are obvious, including your service chiefs, your DSSDs, and not the rest of them who are already in bed with the terrorists that are acting and carrying out different acts of terrorism across Nigeria. They know. But why would DSS want to arrest Emefiele? Are they trying to now kind of, try to use the, what do you call it? The administrative negligence or something like negligence or dereliction of duty and blah, 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 to get him out of the way. Here is the rumor. Make I tell you the rumor. The rumor now is that since Emefiele decided to recolor Naira, forcing majority of them who have housed the money in different bags in preparation for 2023, that policy is like a direct attack on them. Majority of them are going to lose 50% of those stashes, because bringing them out, as we are told, is like a set trap for certain individuals, even within the APC. It's like your government, corrupt system. They know people who have illegally, with stolen cash, stashed them in different places. So intelligence reports should tell them that they should go after them right away. But because the people are like direct rulers, your leaders, the ones that are planning for tomorrow for you and your children, the one that are telling you that Nigeria is a great country and it's going to be great one day. These are the criminals stashing money. Of course, not you. So they said the Emefiele's policy is a direct attack on them. Because number one, they are the ones who go about with Ghana must go. And if you say they can no longer withdraw more than 100,000 naira in a week after December, after this month, are you mad, Dini? Where do you think we are going to see money to spend for the election? So some people will have the money. Some of us will not have it. Is this deliberate? Blah, blah. You know what I mean? So they want to come for him. So they are now saying that DSS invited Emefiele to come and answer some questions on terrorism. Show you the CM. The system that's intentionally, deliberately ignore all of the act of the terrorists that have been terrorizing Nigeria, those who are perpetrating economic terrorism, those who are perpetrating the religious terrorism, those who are perpetrating other different terrorism against Nigerians. Majority of them are operating because of the amount of funds they have access to, as well as the amount of ammunition they could provide with such money. Your system is not going after them per se, but it seems that the politicians in Nigeria, they are now about to prosecute your central bank governor, force him to resign, and stop the madness about the withdrawal. Because the first one is they have to make sure that they change the money. They have to do something with all the stash. Majority of them will have to lose half of the money that they have stolen. Now, not just that, they will not have a chance of making massive withdrawal with bullion van again, except for maybe Tifnumbu, or maybe even Tifnumbu won't have one as well. So threatened by that, they said the Emefiele should come and answer some questions on terrorism. So Emefiele ignored them, rushed and ran to Bokwari. See, these people are coming for me. They are coming for me because the deadline is almost here. They are inviting me, DSS, inviting Central Bank Governor to come and answer questions on terrorism or more. Are you sure you still have, you are still in that Nigeria in a way as a country? So he ran to Bokwari. And from what we heard though, they said Bokwari told him, just continue. Don't listen, don't mind them. True or false, yo? Now waiting I hear. So because of that, he ignored the DSS. Now the DSS, they have now approached the court looking for a judge. The same way they always get their different, using them against anybody they want to go after, Abi. They were about to use that against Emefiele. The warrant to arrest him for not honoring their invitation. And what is their invitation? Money laundering, being channeled towards terrorism, kidnapping, Central Bank Governor, terrorism, money laundering, kidnapping. That should tell you everything you need to know about the Nigeria that you are. So that's why I said, I don't know if it should be a good news for what Emefiele, through the Bokwari's government, they have done to you economically. All the economic ruin that you have suffered in the last 7 years, many of them that you blame on some evil people who are against your progress and your success, and they were the ones who came after your business. No. They are not always the ones. Emefiele and other suit-wearing criminals, they are making economic decisions, economic policies that are only making minute number of people billionaires without any invention, billionaires without any creation, billionaires without any job creation whatsoever. Now, the effect of that is that they continue to mount pressure on your naira that has nothing to back it. So, economic shift of Nigeria, supervising the total collapse of the economy of Nigeria, 3 recessions that you've never come back from. Now, when you look around and you see what the politicians are getting away with, when you look around, you realize that those who are making it easier for them, right? It's no other person than this Emefiele. So if you look at it that way, that okay, if the system that Emefiele has managed, right, to side with, while millions of you lost your jobs, lost your businesses, lost your savings, so many of you lost your homes, some of you lost your marriages, lost your relationship, some of you lost your relationship with your children. Economy hit many of you so much that you lost your health. Everything that happened to you in the last 7 years, that happened in quick succession, right? Because of what the economy turned to, right? Majority of them are not because of spiritual attacks. They are the monetary policies, economic policies, things that they decided in the 4 corners of a cold room, air-conditioned room, that millions have to pay for. A lot of people have died as consequences of this. To patch it up, they were not being honest. What did Emefiele, what did he do? He started printing money, 22 trillion naira cash, Nigerian naira money, printed for Bokwari's government. Ask Emefiele, what did they do with that money? Absolute nothing. Nigeria is in debt of over 45 trillion naira. They are telling us, they say it's over $110 billion. Now listen to that. It simply means that Nigerians, you continue to pay. If you are paying 4 trillion every year, inflation added, and then in the next 10 years, you increase that for 4 trillion every year to 8 trillion every year, you will pay that for the next 80 years. And guess what? You can kiss real development goodbye. So they put you into all of this to patch it up, Emefiele, an economist, right, was lying and kept lying and kept lying. Then he came up with different ideas. For naira to regain its value, it wasn't telling you that NNPC in Nigeria, they have not been remitting money under this APC. He never said that. He's an economist, too, and he knows that if there's any fall in the supply or sale of your crude oil, there will be so much stress on your naira. He knows that as an economist, too. He hasn't built any other thing. He said he was investing your money in agricultural revolution to stop importation of food. Guess what? He publicly, shamelessly came out to celebrate investing 1.4 trillion naira. But you know one thing? They invested 1.4 trillion naira, and 80% of that money was invested in northern Nigeria, the volatile, terrorized region of Nigeria. The place that everybody has opened shop. The terrorism there is now an industry. Everybody is cashing out. Just attach anything to it. When Boko Haram came in, and he was about to borrow $10 million from the World Bank, to support agriculture. Guess what he said? He said World Bank should give that money to the people in northern Nigeria. They need it more. That's where poverty is mostly, evidence. Emefiele invested Nigeria's borrowed money, 1.4 trillion naira, in agricultural revolution. Over 80% of it in northern Nigeria. And then Boko Haram started slaughtering. They started slaughtering the farmers. So many of the local government areas where they planted the farm, right? The farmers had to run away to refugee camps. Some of the areas have been taken over by terrorists as well, controlled by them that not even Nigerian government can even get there. Ladies and gentlemen, after 7 months or a year, Emefiele, Central Bank Governor of Nigeria, Nigeria giant of Africa, they started there wheeling, what do they call them? They have a name for this rice, so paddy rice, Abi. Is it called paddy? Paddy rice. The rice where they never process, the rice where still get the shell, to prove to people that their 1.4 trillion naira investment has now come down to less than 300 billion naira, right? They had to hire Dangote truck with sawdust and their paddy rice. They loaded them to form a pyramid in Abuja. No shed, no nothing. The giant of Africa. To show that they did. But what they didn't show you was what they lost. All of these are economic terrorism. You have no idea. And if the real thing is to be done, they will start picking and arresting from Boko Haram, Pastor Ruga, the entire cabinet of Boko Haram, their family members, their children, their girlfriends and their boyfriends, everybody that is related to them. They will pick everybody like they do in China. Or like in North Korea. Are you with me? Then from there, they will now start going to all these government parastatals, agencies. You start picking people there. When you pick them, you pick their family, you pick their girlfriend, boyfriend, everybody, their mama, their papa, you pack everybody. Concentration camp straight. So that's where you start doing the sorting. The person will commit the crime. How much of the family member helped them commit the crime when they were moving money or when they were doing this or that? Who are the family member that helped them? Because what they have done to Nigeria, they should all be tried for treason, treasonable felony. But they are being rewarded. In Nigeria, reward their criminals anyway. So Emefiele, if the system now come for him, force him to resign, arrest him, and they start trying him for terrorism, there's some of you will now understand that even the system that is against itself, you as a person that they are making to believe that a system can work, while rogues are operating in every serious organ of that same system, right? You that they are making to believe that it's going to work. At that point, you realize that the system is rigged against you is a lie. Not just that. The worst part is this, the worst part that I keep telling people. That you see, even the criminals that are doing all of this to you and to your own unborn children, all of these rogues, they are doing this. You might think they have something good in return for themselves that is going to be probably they are creating a different world from what they are giving to you. They are so heartless, so shameless that when they decide when they ruin your economy and they create unemployment, they increase crime and crime rate increases. They are putting themselves, the people they love, their family members and friends, they are putting them in that same danger that they are putting you. You would have to survive in that ash Nigeria, Hey, be careful of one chance. Oh, be careful of armed robbers. Hey, be careful of kidnappers. Oh, hey, be careful of bad road. Be careful of wrong doctors. So quack doctor. All these things they tell you to be very careful of. They are like everyday threats to you because of these criminals, the consequences of these criminals' selfishness, Abi. They have money to go abroad for medical because they could afford that, Abi. So they deny you that. They deny you medical. They could send their children abroad to go and get education. The best of the best, they said. But they can deny you that. Now, everything they are denying you, that they believe they are getting for themselves, the society they are creating, that they themselves still have to kind of live in, is as dangerous to you. So it's as dangerous to them, same way it is dangerous to you. That you are worried. Don't think they are spared or safe. They are not. And that's where the ignorance, the ignorance of all these people at the national and international scale is obvious. They were supposed to build a motorable road. They failed to. Yet, their family members, they themselves, and people, they will still have to drive on that on motorable road, Abi. They failed to provide their stable electricity. And they provided for themselves electricity generation and all of that stuff, Abi. But at the end of the day, they will still have to what? They will still have to live with the consequences of that, what do they call them? Fuel, the fume, the gas fume. Anyway, give me a sec. Let me do something about this blinking again. And I know why, I'm coming back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you. You're wondering why I put that on the loop. I think is the shortest way of getting things done quickly without having to, sort of complicate it. So they are so heartless, selfish, but they are doing the same harm that they are doing to you. They are doing them to themselves. That's why I call it the poverty of the mind. They want to own the world, but they actually ended up owning nothing. Anyway, I'll wait for when we start the People's Parliament, when I can add other things onto that. But Kolu was in Calabar today. Do you want to see that? I'll show you. Let's go to Calabar. Where is that again? Here. CD boy. But that's not just that. It got to a point in town, right? A short one. Then somebody actually, had a better coverage of his movement in town, and I think it's this one.
The Calabar still for the incoming president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is arriving across River State right the way here, and that's the hour and something to remember here. Bola Ahmed Tinubu arriving at Calabar across River State here for March 2023. Calabar Live. Wonderful. Wonderful. Welcome. That's Jagaban. That's Jagaban. That's Jagaban. That's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2023. Arriving here in Calabar Cross River State. That's the motorcade taking him straight to the cultural center here in Calabar, the venue of the town hall meeting, first ever South Nigeria. And you just met His Excellency there, live here. This is how the real thing moves. This is how you crown your king. This is how the prince is being found here. Is some high-level technical support here. Security beef high here in Calabar, Cross River State. We're live, and this is something to remember. Live here in Calabar, Cross River State, 20th day, the month of December, 2022, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu arriving in Calabar, Cross River State for the.
Thank you, reporter. Thank you. So when he finally got in, I think there's also this part as well. Watch this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for we welcome the Jagaban.
I see the old man. You know, city boy, he called himself. So he dropped some blah, blah, blue, blah as well, just for the optic, okay? Inside the same place. Please.
On the spot, Senator John Eno, please stand up. Where are you? Please come up.
Jagaba, Owaneno,
Barrister Mary Emefiele,
Jagaba, a father in a million, a daddy indeed.
yeah, hi. We didn't start today. We didn't start yesterday. We've been great friends. We have always shared one common thing: progressive thinking and capacity to change the dynamics of regression. You, Senator John Eno, no matter what degree of anger, we are bound to be angry one way or the other. We're bound to be disappointed as long as a human being lives. We are bound to have our regrets. But abandoning our people and cause and determination to make progress on the spot.
So that's where they said he was acted the unifier. You see where he's trying to like be a motivational. Well, hang on, there's actually a dramatical part I would like you to see. This one.
Life in itself. I'll be here today. Please.
So he reconciled warring factions in Calabar or Cross River states. So they said he was telling that guy that they have something in common, always fighting progressive regression or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, you can't really quote Kolu per se, especially if you are trying to understand when he's making a sentence and you're going to get lost. So I got lost at that point. But for those who listen, there's nothing much there. However, yeah, the obedience, because I don't want to keep us waiting any longer, because I can see that the parliamentarians are also getting ready. Listen, if you want to join the parliament tonight, I'm going to drop this link in that comment section, okay? All you have to do is to open it, and then, yeah, you can join us if you feel like you should, okay? Or before we open the, and when you are joining, please keep your microphone on mute, okay? Keep it mute so that you can only unmute your microphone when it's your turn to speak. And please stay in a well-lit place. Let there be light that shows your face, not in the dark. Please don't join us when you are lying down on your bed, okay? Don't join us while you are lying on your bed wearing nothing. And don't join us if you are in the middle of something. So we'd like it to be very quiet if you are going to be part of this tonight. The link is already in the comment section, so you can use it. Come on, use that. And some of you actually wanted to say something to my face. You know, this is a chance, your chance. You can say anything to my face right now. And say, Mayegun, I've always wanted to tell. I always say that anyway, but some of you know they come. You just stay there, they fight inside the comments, okay? And to everybody as well, when I come back from this, yeah, I'll take you through what you should also have in mind, especially everyone who is part of the Yoruba Union. Amazing. Yeah. So thank you very much. Let's quickly go to Uyo Akwa Ibom. You know, foul. That's Aisha Yesufu. Anyway, while I get ready for my parliamentarians to start coming on the screen, okay, I am only going to allow those who have complied. You know what I mean? Like who have complied with these simple participation rules, okay? Go on to open that link on the device you want to use. Turn on your camera. Stay in a bit quiet place. Keep your microphone mute until it is your turn to speak. And then in the background, if I see that you are actually ready, I'll bring you on. We'll start the conversation. Currently, I have a few people here already waiting. Some of you haven't put on your cameras, and I advise you should put on your cameras, okay? Let's see your faces and get set as well. Before we get that. So my own will say in all of this, when this whole thing comes crashing, as they say, before Olokpa carry everybody, some of us don't they make our prayer points. Like this guy. I like him.
Almighty Father God, come and deliver me. Almighty Father God, come and deliver me to no go. Make my hand no go enter in the police hand again in the name of Jesus. God set me free in the name of Jesus. Almighty Father God, come and deliver me. Almighty Father God, come and deliver me to no go. Make my hand no go enter in the police hand again in the name of Jesus. God set me free in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen. Make anything with my hand no go enter anything police. So Baba, say your own prayer. So it seems that I only have what? See, Citizen AY, you would have to like be stable if you really want to. But if you can hear me, so I can see that you have been like a back and forth, you know, to and fro. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to let me see if I can tag, or should I say pin the link again? Just the link. So to everybody who is interested in participating, you can use this. Okay. So while we wait for, I don't think I have anybody that is ready here. So I have about 4 people currently waiting to participate. But somehow, it seems that they just don't want to turn on their camera. So if your camera is not on, you will not be participating, because I need to see where you are before I continue. Okay. One person has turned this on, and I hope this work, okay? So the microphones should be kept mute, and then you should be a little bit stationary, okay? Once you are ready, you will be put on. African Wahala. Oh, this one that you came on like, you know what I mean? Well, okay. So African Wahala, I was about to give people the head start to something that they might be interested in tonight, the framework for Yoruba Union. So I am going to ask you to please hang on there for me, okay? While I quickly do this for everyone. So I have seen serious responses to our first call that if we indeed want to be instrumental to the realization of the sovereign Yoruba nation, there's so much work to be done. In fact, for everybody to know how this works, it is more, it requires the commitment and dedication of a lot of people who are going to hold different, aspects of the entire journey. The most important part of our, our ideal of approaching this is how can we make the people our ally? How could we make this their project? How could we make this their movement? How could we make them the driver and the rider? So it requires a lot. Most importantly, it requires a lot of education, reorientation, enlightenment, and in fact, it requires so many personal commitments. And when we say commitment, it's going to be, it's not going to be an easy ride, but we have made it easier in order for us not to fall into the pit of those who have tried this in the past. We will remain non-violent, and the approach and everything that has to do with our approaches will remain non-violent to start with. Secondly, when it comes to every part and parcel of the whole Yoruba Union, we have decided to make the entire structure decentralized. When we say decentralized power, it simply means that every part is as important as the other. There is no part or branch of any kind of responsibility that is more important to another, than another. Now, how do we make this happen? Our intention is to make sure that the role you are given, is given to you, is designed and then, in a way, strategically, right, directed towards just one goal where Yorubas, home and abroad, will have reason, the genuine and germane reason to demand for the independent Yoruba nation. Now, this could be a very long journey, depends on our reactions, on our responses. But it seems that the responses I've seen so far seems that we are going to do this. Now, to make it work, where other organ can always take on the other, we have, segmented this, compartmentalize it into over 20 departments. Now, these 20 departments, they are borders on almost every day today of our people's life, home and abroad. Means that you probably would have a role, or you can find a place yourself. So in the last 24 hours, we've had over 140 people who have responded in that regard. Like, the roles haven't been shared, but the roles are currently being, itemized, clarified, and then, you know what I mean? Everybody getting to know where and where do I think I'll fit in. So in the coming